Today, the world we live in is full of technology and development, but its journey began millions of years ago. Back then, there were no cities, no houses, and no technology. At that time, there were only forests and dangerous animals. The sole purpose of our ancestors' lives was simple: to survive. Their lives were nothing less than an adventurous movie. Every day was a new struggle, every night a new fear. At that time, there was hardly any difference between humans and animals. Both depended entirely on nature for survival. But one thing set humans apart from the rest: their intelligence. It was this very trait that distinguished humans from other creatures and gradually led them toward civilization. Slowly, they learned to control fire, make tools, and begin hunting. This marked the real beginning of the human journey. However, this path was far from easy. To reach the modern world, our ancestors had to face new challenges at every step. They lived in caves, ate fruits from trees, and constantly ran to protect themselves from wild animals. The biggest struggle for early humans was food. At first, they mostly lived in trees, wandering through forests all day in search of food. In the beginning, they survived by eating roots, tubers, fruits, and flowers. But that was not always safe, as many poisonous plants also existed in the forests, which they had to avoid. Gradually, they realized that meat provided more nutrition and kept them full longer. That's where hunting began. Over time, they began to descend from the trees because thunderstorms and heavy rain made them feel unsafe up there. Eventually, they started seeking shelter in caves. Many early humans found hills and caves to settle in, which we can still find as evidence across the world today. In the early days, early humans lived just like wild animals, fully dependent on nature. They ate whatever they found. They feared wild animals, harsh weather, storms, and scorching heat, making life extremely difficult. Their fear was natural because they had no weapons or knowledge of how to defend themselves. Hunting without weapons was not easy. Early humans started making simple tools from stones and wood to hunt small animals. This was their first major victory, because now they had a new food source. Gradually, they began digging and hunting using stones. They used sharp stones to cut through tough animal hides and wood. The axe was the first major tool invented, a significant achievement for early humans. Slowly, they developed many other tools from stones. This era is known as the Stone Age. Today, we might consider fire a simple thing, but for our ancestors, it was nothing short of a miracle. When lightning struck the forest, it would cause wildfires which initially terrified early humans. They often set forests on fire, not understanding what it was. They thought fire was the most dangerous animal, because all other animals, whether lions or elephants, were afraid of it. One day, they observed that fire went out when it came in contact with water, so they ran towards rivers and ponds to escape the fire. They learned to create fire by rubbing stones together, a revolutionary discovery that completely changed their lives. Thanks to fire, they felt safer and began cooking meat. Their daily meals became tastier, and their brains began developing faster. They slowly realized that fire could provide warmth, cook food, and protect them from dangerous animals. They even carried burning wood torches to work during the night. Early humans had no structured language, no words or grammar. Still, they had to communicate where food was found, where danger lurked, or when it was time to hunt. They started using gestures and sounds. Initially, they communicated with hand and facial expressions. Gradually, they began to use sounds. If there was danger, they screamed loudly. If they found food, they made a different sound. As groups grew larger, they felt the need for a structured language. Slowly, they combined sounds and signs to develop basic communication, which marked the birth of language, helping advance human civilization. About 2 million years ago, some early humans began migrating from their homeland toward northern Africa, Europe, and Asia. Surviving in the icy forests of northern Europe and the hot, dense jungles of Indonesia required different adaptations. As a result, human populations began to evolve based on geographical conditions, and different species of humans were classified with Latin names by scientists. As time passed, There was a revolutionary shift in human civilization and culture that completely transformed their way of life. In the beginning, early humans lived alone, but gradually they started living in groups with families.